And one brand that ChatGPT actually told me is not sold by Amazon.com, which is what I was looking for, is this quantum storage systems brand. So basically, I gave ChatGPT a list of brands from Zoro, and it told me which brands are not sold by Amazon. They are sold by, but rather are sold by third-party sellers. And this is important because I want to be able to compete with the other sellers who are selling the brand. If they're normal third-party sellers, then I can more likely compete with them. I don't want to compete with Amazon, and I don't want to sell brands where the brand itself is selling it, where the brand owner is selling it. So it needs to be sold by third-party sellers. And the quantum storage systems satisfies that requirement. So I started to investigate these products individually, looking at quantum storage systems products, and I could see that they are in fact sold by third-party sellers, ships from, sold by the same seller, and you can see that the seller is not the brand. The brand is Quantum Storage Systems. The seller is not. The seller is not Amazon.com. That is what we want. And if you continue to go through more of these listings, it's a good idea to investigate and see that they are in fact third-party sellers. And I could keep doing that, and I did that with a few listings before, and we see that they're sold by third-party sellers. So it's a great start. Now the other part is the actual, that's the product research part, right? Identifying brands, looking up brands and finding brands from that supplier. This supplier is Zoro.com. Now for the sourcing. The sourcing is, can we find profitable sources of the products? And of course, doing it manually, it just takes a long time to do. And you can do it manually, but it's just, it's slow to do every single product. Now, I did attempt to use the Amazon sourcer, which is a spreadsheet I made that automatically attempts to automatically find sources of products. However, I was not satisfied with the sources that it started to find in the beginning of the process. I wasn't satisfied, so I decided to abandon using the Amazon sourcer. It's not getting the results I need. So my latest solution I just made right here in 2025 is the Google Lens product sourcer. And what this does is it will automate Google Lens searches on these products if I provide it with the image URLs in this Google Sheet. So it's a Google Sheet template, no scripts, just a Google Sheet with formulas, and it will send the results of the Google Lens searches in here. And when the results get here, it will calculate the profit, and you'll be able to see which products are profitable. And so that is the solution that I'm going to use for this brand. So now the first thing, which is similar to the Amazon sourcer, is that we need to get the product data in here. So the most consistent way I know to do that is using Instant Data Scraper, which is a free Chrome extension. So when you click it, it puts this red box around the products. And then if you locate the next button, you click locate next button, you can scroll to the bottom and click. It looks like I might be on page 7. Okay, let me start over. So let me get back to page 1. Okay, I'll start over this whole Instant Data Scraper thing from scratch. Refresh, and okay, in fact, I might have to do my search and everything from scratch. Search Amazon from scratch and Quantum Storage Systems. All from scratch. Okay, and now I'll click Instant Data Scraper, Chrome extension, and locate the next button, which will be at the bottom of the page clearly. And I'll scroll down. I should have zoomed out a bit. Less scrolling to do that way. I'll click on the next button. Then go back to the Chrome extension. Now I have several windows from before that I have to close. And I'll locate, start crawling. Okay, so I did locate next button and I clicked the next button. Now start crawling, and it will start to crawl through the pages and pull stuff off the page. Now it only did 2 pages Sometimes it'll do more. Last time it did all 7. I could click start crawling again or do the process again. Sometimes it does that. It'll stop, and other times it will keep going. So I'll do locate next again because I want to try to get as many rows as I can get right now. Okay, if not, I'll just work with these products for now. I'll just work with these because just want to see what I'll start to find. So I downloaded the file using the CSV button. And now to go to the Google Lens Sourcer template, I'll go to the import CSV sheet and import it. By the way, this warning, this just has to do with trying to preview images. So it's nothing really, but it has to do with the fact that when I bring in the Amazon URLs, image URLs, I have a simple formula I'll just show you quickly. To pull in the images, equal image of E2 will just allow us to preview the images, and that's why it's saying this. Okay, because it, that's what they mean by external parties. I'm trying to get an image from Amazon. So file, import, upload, browse, and Amazon 31 open. That's the last CSV I just downloaded. That was it in downloads. Replace current sheet. Okay, it's very important at this step you select replace current, not replace spreadsheet. You will replace the whole Google Sheet. So replace current sheet and import data. Okay, it's very important you get that right. Now the first column are what? URLs. And these are, I just want to see what these are again. Okay. And you want to kind of look, it gets downloaded a bit crazy. I'm just trying to see if there's what all these are getting these days. Okay, so let's take a look at the product sheet so we know what we need. So product ID, I'm just using a number for that. 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth, just so I can identify each product with a number. It's easier than looking at a link. You'll see why that's important later. Product title, if you want to go from left to right, we can scroll over and look for the product title. So we see these are the product titles. No, those are not actually product titles. I don't think those are. And you don't actually need the titles for this automation. You don't actually need them, but I would like to have them. Okay, and just copy them down. I realize that some of these rows are blank and all of that. And hopefully I can get, so I highlighted those, and I hope I didn't do it too fast. Right click, copy. And now I'll just paste them in here. So I realize we have like the empty rows and all that. Okay, but let's not worry about that at the moment. And then the URLs. Okay, product URLs, we're talking about the products, not the, okay, so not the images, the products themselves. Fortunately though, Instant Data Scraper just kind of grabs whatever's on the page, and it's not designed specifically for Amazon, so this is a bit messy, but I'll copy these links over and paste them here, and I want to see if I can maybe do a Chrome extension or something that can give me a cleaner download so I don't have to do all what I'm doing now. I'd love to be able to just download a CSV from Amazon search results and literally just have the columns ready to go and just copy and paste it here. But right now, this is how it is. Product price. So we can get the prices from here as well. So there's a little upfront work. And I mean, you can get really fast at this after a while. I'm doing it slow for the video. Okay, so here are the prices. And again, I'm going to highlight all of those prices. Copy them. Bring those over and paste them in here for prices. So those are your prices. Now, the prices we do need for profit calculations. And then now I'll get the image URLs, the image. Now it is the image URLs that are used to Google Lens the products. And this second column has the image URLs. You know image URLs because they'll have images, the word images in them or something that indicates an image, and you'll see that JPEG format, for instance, or a PNG or anything that's like an image format. You know, I'll go back to products, product sheet, and again, it's this start from this row and just paste it. Okay, so now I have my titles, my URLs, product prices, and my image URLs. So for the product ID, I just want it to be 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's not a product ID as in a supplier ID. It's a product ID as far as like first product, second product. It's a local product ID for this spreadsheet. Okay, and so when I double click that, if you highlight this and double click, it will automatically continue in that pattern. But because we have some blank rows, it'll keep stopping, which is not too nice. But if I keep dragging this down, I can get more. Okay, these are also technically not totally necessary, but they just help us to know. You do need them if you're going to stop and continue the automation, especially to know where you left off. Okay, so we've populated the product IDs, the titles, the URLs, the prices, and the image URLs. Okay, and I know that's a bit of a process to scrape it and download it and bring it in and copy it. As I said, I'll work on a solution, or at least look into. There might be a free solution, a Chrome extension that does it or something. Now, there isn't anything that you need to do here on the result sheet. It will, when you run the Chrome extension, it will pull the product stuff that you've done here right into here, the product data, and put it right in here. It will grab result URLs and prices from the Google Lens searches and put those in here as well. And the images will populate from the image URL. Just allow access, so it will be allowed to pull the images. You get rid of that ref error, and that's it. We're ready for the Chrome extension. Okay, so now with all that, I don't want us to forget what we're actually doing, which is we're trying to source quantum storage systems brand products from Amazon, right? That's the reason why we're doing all of this. Okay, so now this is the Chrome extension over here. Okay, I've made a few Chrome extensions. This is one of them. This is the Google Lens product sourcer. I have another one that I made over here called YouTube Automations. And I have a delete Amazon addresses if you want to delete the addresses from your address book, starting from, say, the third address on, or the second address on, or the fourth. You can tell where to start. So those are a few different Chrome extensions I've made. But right now we're using this one, the Google Lens product sourcer. So you open that, and sometimes the image will come out, sometimes it doesn't. But it has nothing to do with the functionality. So Google Lens product sourcer Chrome extension. I just made it June 12th, literally yesterday. And I'll play it. Sometimes it doesn't play right away. And I'll just play it again. Okay, and so if it doesn't play right away, just, click it a second time. And you have to give it input, first of all, the spreadsheet URL. So let me move my browser over here. So the spreadsheet URL is obviously up here. You copy that and you just paste it in here. And the start row is the start row of that where it should start searching products, which would be by default row 2. Set that up. The output row is also row 2 on the result sheet by default. And this is the largest number of results you will allow it to grab per Google image search. The maximum number of results you will allow it to grab for each product, and I'm going to leave it at the default 10. And the output interval is how often, like the number of products it will pull before it starts printing it to the Google Sheet. Google Sheets has an API rate limit for this kind of thing, and this is why I have it set to 10. I don't want it constantly printing data into the spreadsheet too quickly into the Google Sheet. Okay. I don't want to, run the API limit. So I'll leave it at 10 and just wait for each 10 products to populate. Now, there's one other thing before you run it, which is that you've got to share this. I didn't realize this was in my Google Lens folder. Let's select that. And then make a copy, okay? I had it in the wrong. I didn't realize it was still in the source folder. That means I have to go back and delete everything out of that copy. Okay. Just great. All right. Okay, so that's okay. I can fix that. So now this copy I'm going to share. This is the right thing. And change it to anyone with the link and editor. So anyone with the link can edit. Why? The Chrome extension needs to be able to access the file and edit it. So you have to do that. Okay. But if you don't give anyone the link, they can't edit it. Okay. And that's it. So now it is ready, completely ready to run. I've got my products. It's set up for editing. I got my URL in here. Everything's ready to go. If you want to export results to a CSV as well, you can click on that too. You can check this on as well. And what I'll do is go ahead and actually I'm going to do that. I'll have it export to a CSV as well, and I'm going to run it. Okay. And so I'll have to minimize it. And the way it works is it will run in its own tab on the browser. So let's see. I know what happened. I have to redo the URL because I just made a copy. Whoops. So I'll run it, play it again. Right? Remember, I had to copy it because I had the wrong file before. Because I had the original file open. And I'll paste, and now I can run it. Okay, I'll go back to Google Chrome so I can actually see it. And you'll see that it is running over here. Okay, and it runs quietly over there, and you can continue working in your browser while it does those Google Lens searches over there on that tab. But what I'll do is I'll open that tab so you can actually see what it's doing. And we missed the Google image search. We'll see the next one. Or, well, we're still in the middle of this search. And you see those are the product results, which it will pull up. Okay, I'm getting a lot of Amazon. So maybe on that product at least. Let's see. So here it's doing the next search. You see that URL. It's dropping the URL and doing the image search. And let's see what it's getting all Amazon sources. I'll scroll down further to see if there's anything different. Okay, I see further down. Okay, so I'm actually going to stop it and restart it. No, I need to stop this. Okay, I need to stop it because if that's any indication of the way the results are going to be, let me kind of explain what's happening here. So it's searching the images from Amazon, the product images, but I'm seeing that, okay, maybe not with this one, but with another one that like the first 10 were Amazon. So if I tell it just to grab the first 10, it's not going to even be grabbing other suppliers in some cases. This one is better. It's got some Walmart, some other stuff. And they're just so many. So what I'm going to do is have it grab, and it doesn't take more time for it to do this. I'm going to have it grab, it's going to have to grab a lot. I mean, how many do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's zoom out. Gee whiz. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's estimate. That's I mean, it's a ton. It's about maybe 50 results. It's probably about 50 results on this Google Lens search. And many are not going to process. I mean, they don't have prices, so the sheet will just kind of ignore them and put a dash, so you won't even be bothered by those. So what I'll do, they won't be an issue. So what I'll do, okay, I'm going to run it again. I'll open it again, the Google Lens product sourcer. And go back to the sheet. Where's the sheet? Yeah, the sheet. Okay. Okay, let me run that again. Google Lens product sourcer. Just certain little. Okay, go back here, grab the URL. So it was working fine, but I just realized that I probably want to grab more sources in this case. Results. So what I'll do is tell it to grab up to like 50 because I just saw so many. So it'll grab up to 50 if there are that many, okay, for every product. And then I'll run it. Okay. All right, that way if they're like a long list, it'll pull them up. So now you see it doing the image search. You see my mouse pointers over here. All right, I'm not operating anything. You see my mouse pointer over here. Okay, this is in automation. It's doing this automatically, right? It's doing it slowly at a normal kind of pace. So it doesn't come up as anything crazy in the browser or anything like that. It's like a normal kind of pace. I've been able to run these searches like back to back to back to back, and I've been able to actually find profitable matching products. You just have to do it's one of these things where it is like a little slow compared to like sourcing software. Of course, without, the cost, but the point is that it's, of course, a lot slower than that. But where if you just let it do its job and just let it run, if you do the product research ahead of time and find the things that are more likely to be profitable, like third-party sellers and all of that, and then you just run it through here and you just let it do its job and let it take its time searching the products, it's one of those things where you'll find you'll have results at the end of the process, but you have to just let the process run. And so that's what I'm going to do here. Okay, of course I won't sit here through every single one of these, but I just want you to see what it's doing, but it is not necessary to watch this process. When you run it, you do not have to sit there and watch it, but I do want you to see it. Okay, I haven't been counting, so I'm not sure how many products it's done so far. This Google Sheet is not the sheet that we're on. Let me close that because that could be just, you might get distracted by that. This is the sheet we're using. And I'm not sure which. Let me see. Okay, if it's on that yellow product, let's see if I can get an idea of where it is. I think it did like, sure how many products it searched for at this point. I would like you to see at least one result, perhaps. Okay, it's not really ideal to be clicking back and forth on it like this. I want to just let it run and do its job, but let's see. I'm trying to kind of figure out where it is in the process. Okay, I'll just try to stay on it. Okay. I would like you to see the results. I don't think it's done 10 as yet, but I would like you to see the first output of results. Now you're watching this recorded on video, so you can always fast forward. I have to actually, being that I'm here at this moment in time, I have to actually wait for it to happen. So the output interval is 10 products, so it's not going to print until it has done 10 products. And that is why you won't see anything here at first. So keep that in mind when you first run this. If you don't see results right away, don't think that it's not working. Also make sure that you shared it for editing. But, you know, it's just that the output intervals is 10 products. So it's like waiting before it prints anything. Okay, I think I should be close to 10 products by now. I feel like it's been running for a while. So it's better to look at this. It's more entertaining than to look at the spreadsheet. So we'll take a look at this. And so as you can see, if you were doing this manually and you were selecting these products and doing Google Lens searches, you could do it. But could you record all of these sources? Could you quickly copy all of these? These all have URLs, all these results, and some have prices. Could you sit there and record all of the URLs and the prices from all these different exact matches under a Google Lens search and bring them back and paste them into a spreadsheet? Could you record 50 possible sources at a time per product search? Could you do that? Right, there's no way you could do it at this pace, right? It'd be impossible. Okay, so this is the advantage of this is why I built this automation, because I realized that Google Lens is giving the most exact matches that I can get for free, including prices. See, that's the key, right? In the past with other software spreadsheets I made, I had to somehow get the prices from the suppliers too. I had to use software, and a lot of times, and don't forget, software only works with certain suppliers, so if they were too obscure, I couldn't even get the prices into the sheet from certain suppliers. How many missed profitable opportunities were there simply because I couldn't get the price data in bulk, right? This solves that problem completely because it can get all the prices from all the different, from any, they're here. The prices are just here sometimes, right? On many sources, it has prices. There might be some links that come up that don't come up with the price, but there are many that do. And there are more than enough that do. So if this stuff is in fact sold cheaper at some supplier, Google Lens will find it. And it will pull that back to your Google Sheet and print it for you. You know, Google Lens will find it. So now I'm not sure. It might. Okay, so let me check. Okay, looks like. Wait, where's my thing? Like it closed down. Okay, so I'm gonna have to run this. Well, you see how it runs. Okay, what I'm gonna have to do is run it again. There were just a few mishaps here with the process. Like I had the wrong file at first, things like that. But you see how it runs. So what I'm going to do is start it up and run it again and leave it, and then I will come back. So in fact, what I'll do, let me just start it again. URL, I'll go here, I'll run it, put parameters, spreadsheet URL, and I'll just go ahead and run it again. Okay, I'll let it run, and what I'll do is I'll pause, I'll come back, and when it has some results, I'll continue so that you can see it. Or it might actually end up being in another video. Well, no, I'll show you some results here. And then if anything, if there's more to the process, I'll continue in another video. But I will come back with some results right now. So the automation has now been running for a few minutes, and I can see that the product results have already started to populate. And I actually left it for longer than I had to, because now it already has about 101 results, but from just 10 products, right? So this is where the product ID comes in. I see that the product ID 10 is over here. That's the 10th product. And we see that on the results, the product ID of the last thing is 10. So what happens is you have potentially many results. Even though the max results, I did use 50 when I ran the automation, it doesn't mean that it's going to literally find 50. So like sometimes it might only find 10. But the point is that there are multiple results per product. And so, for just 10 products of results, you might have 100 rows, as you do here. Okay, now it appears that the automation actually stopped. I don't see the automation here. I see that the Chrome extension is not even here. So this might be a thing. And I would have to restart it if I wanted it to continue. Okay, so if you were going to restart it, I mean, here's the thing. I just wanted to point out that it did find products. So let me talk about that first. So let me zoom out a bit, and you can zoom out with the keyboard, Control minus, Control plus on the keyboard. But if you want to use the menu on Google Sheets, you can go to View, Zoom, and you can just immediately zoom out to like 75% just to make it small, right? And make sure that this is on the filter. You turn it on with data filter. Well, it says remove because it's already there, but you can use data create filter to create a filter up top across the top of the sheet. Okay, you highlight it and then you turn that filter on. I already had the filter on the template by default, and what we're going to do is scroll down first because I want you to just see it first. You know, I want you to see the results as they come out, and you see that we have these dashes. These are the ones that don't have proper data to calculate anything. Those are the results that did not get prices in there. And then you see the pink ones. Those are the ones that did get prices, but the profits were negative. That's going to be most of your results. Most are not going to be profitable. That's why it's hard to find profitable products manually, because most products are not, most sources when you compare them are not profitable. However, you do see some that are lit up in green. These are the positive numbers for the profit column. These are potentially profitable products where it was able to pull the price from a supplier it found, and where the profit calculation estimation does come out to be a positive number. And so these are the ones that, if you, to save time, you just want to navigate towards those. And this is just from the first 10 products, but I'll go to profit, and what we can do is filter this. We click the drop down next to the word profit, filter by color. Now the reason why I can do filter by color is because I used conditional formatting. So all the positive ones are green, so you can just click on green and that will give you the green profits. If you did not have the color here, you would have to do filter by condition, and then you would have to do greater than and type in the number 0, and it would be any profit that is greater than 0, and that would have the same result, greater than 0. But I already put the color under conditional format in there for convenience and to make it faster for you. So now, whether or not these are good matchups, well, let's see what happens. We have this product over here in Amazon, and it's the Quantum Storage Systems QUS 240. Plastic storage, stacking ultra bin, 14-inch by 8-inch by 7-inch yellow case of 12. Okay, so back to the spreadsheet, and here's the result URL that it found. But that's also Amazon? No. Okay, Webstaurant. Is that Webstaurant Store? So Webstaurant Store is another popular supplier. Yeah, that I haven't really showcased in any videos recently, come to think of it, and I used to use this supplier. And so we have a case of 12 on Amazon for $136. Let's just take, first of all, yeah, well, let's see if these are the same product. Let's kind of pay attention to that part first. So we have QUS 260YL. Same here, QUS, nope, 240. 260, 240. Now, sometimes what I'll do is then on the supplier, I'll try to see if I can find that 240YL. All right, because there's a good chance the price is similar in that. So if this is profitable, there's a good chance the 240 is profitable also. But let me just see what it found here, because the second source might be right. So I'll go back to the spreadsheet now and check the second source. And let me see if this, yeah, there you go. That's the 240YL. Okay, that's the 240YL. There it is. Okay, so that's the 240YL. 14 and 3/4, 8 1/4, 7, 14, 8, 7. On Amazon, they just kind of rounded it. I guess they just like truncated the other parts of the measurements. They just truncated the fractions or whatever, and made it. They just dropped the fractions. It seems made it 14 by 8 by 7. It's a little weird. Okay, but yeah, I don't. I kind of don't like that when Amazon listing has a different, any slight difference in the dimensions as opposed to the supplier. I just feel like it's just from my experience. I've sold things on Amazon in the past where a person has said to me, "Hey, the dimensions said this on Amazon, but the product they actually measured it," and I mean to the fraction. They were like, "It's a fraction off. It's like a quarter of an inch different from what it says on the listing or whatever." You have people who are like meticulous that way, which is fine, and so that's the only thing. But many people will just, it won't matter because they're just using it to store stuff. They're not going to be sitting there measuring it, but it depends on who you're talking about. But anyway, it is the same product because it is the same. We see that model number, and everything is the same. Okay, it's $8.39 each, and you must buy a minimum of 12. So that would be 12 by 8, which is about 96. If you add the 40 cents, it's more than that, of course. But somewhere between $96 to $98, of course. And then you have clearly $136 is way higher than that. So, I mean, without really even going to a spreadsheet and doing a calculation, I can see a noticeable gap in cost. The question is, what is the shipping? Webstaurant does have a free shipping program that you can pay for. Some kind of program where you do get free shipping. It's not like cheap, but if you do enough sales, it's worth it. But yeah, this clearly looks like a profit. So I want to teach you one thing though, all right? You've got to buy 12 units. So when you add this to the cart, if you look in the cart, you'll see, just look at this quickly, $100.68 is your subtotal because you must buy 12 as it says on the listing. So in the spreadsheet, I set it up in a way that you can make those kinds of adjustments. So what I did here is I have the number of units, right? This is for the supplier, and you can put 12 here. So we'll calculate the total costs. It is applying a tax, which you can change, but it's applying 10% by default. And so if the tax is $11.14, then it's going to come up with this total. And you can always change this price if it's not precisely the same as, I see that on Webstaurant they have $8.39 here as a unit price. So if you need to change that, you just go ahead and change it. Change it to $8.39, and you'll get the same $100.68. And, applying this 10% tax, you'll get that tax. You'll get the total cost of $110.75. And it's giving you a cost per unit. That means, per item, because you're buying 12 of them, 12 bins. So each bin costs $9.23. That's important when you're doing multi-packs. For instance, if you were going to sell this on Amazon as a case of 10, you need to know how much each case costs. But since it's a case of 12 on Amazon, and you're also buying a case of 12, it's evened out. So it's a lot more simple. The number of units that you are selling, it is a multi-pack. So the number of units you're selling on Amazon, it says case of 12. You are selling 12 units, 12 of the items. So I will put a 12 here. But again, that 12 is going to balance off with this 12. So the cost per sale, meaning every time you sell a case of 12 here on Amazon, it's going to cost you, this total cost, right, of $110.75, which is here, the cost per sale, right? Because it's costing you that purchase of 12 units is what it cost. Okay, so that's your cost for every sale. Assuming that the market fee percentage, which is the fee from the marketplace, which is Amazon, is 15%. I do have a market fee as a $. Like for instance, on eBay, you have a transaction fee Or if you're selling on Amazon and you're not a professional seller, they have that fee that they charge. You can put that there as well. Any kind of fee that's a dollar amount that you need to add, an FBA fee, for instance, if you're doing FBA, you can put that in here as well. This is not meant for Amazon specifically, this template. It's meant for anyone selling on it. So it's any marketplace. So whatever your percentage, any percentages that you're charged on the sale, you can add those percentages in here. And any dollar amounts you're charged per sale for fees, you add those in here. Okay, it's totaling those fees together and giving you a payout. So your payout would be $115.61 based on this price that is on the listing on Amazon of $136. So your profit would be, it's small, it's $4.86. It's 4.39% ROI. It's a small ROI, right? And the reason why it might be surprisingly small when you're looking at it at a glance is because when you're looking at the item here, you're seeing that small unit price for one bin, right? So it looks small. But on Amazon, you're seeing the big price. And this is the problem with sourcing software I've experienced. A lot of sourcing softwares don't know that this is a case of 12. They don't know that the price on Webstaurant is for one single unit and then you're buying 12 of them. So it will report on sourcing software as being like this highly profitable product because it doesn't know to go in here and multiply 12 by 8. All right, to make it into, it doesn't understand that you must buy a minimum of 12 and all that. Sourcing software is not that smart. So this is where the manual inspection and a more manual, this is only automated in that you don't have to by hand do the manual like Google Lens search, right? But it's not so automated that you can't do like I'm doing and put these numbers in and realize the exact cost of things, right? So this gives you need this. I think personally that you need to be able to do that now in 2025 to help cut through the competition. And because if all your competition is just running sourcing software, they're never going to be able to see these little situations, but because you're doing it this way and then plugging in numbers, you'll be able to find certain deals that they'll never find. And that's kind of like a little competitive edge. I mean, that's just, that's my viewpoint. Yours could be different, right? But that's how I see it, especially if you're starting out and you don't have the budget for all the software and all that. But I'm saying even if you do, I mean, it's still like an advantage. It's an edge if, when you're using something like this. Okay, so this is no longer sold on Lowe's. I'm just checking out some of the other sources that came up as well. Is this the same? No, okay, now this one's a different product. No, well, it looks the same. Maybe this is the, wait a minute, is this the, let's see what this is. Is this the, okay, I don't, what is this? Oh, is this like a 2-pack? Okay, so let's check this out. And let's check out the result URL on Webstaurant. Now you've got to buy 4 of these, and you're buying $22.49 for each. You are paying $22.49 per unit, per bin. The bin is a unit in this case. You are paying you are selling a 2-pack, 2 of them for $103.60. So again, without even doing a calculation, you're selling 2 of these, a 2-pack. You're selling 2 of these for $104, right? $104, and you're buying each one for $22, but you're selling 2 of them for $104, right? So that's got to be a profit, right? Because it's going to cost you then about $44, right? Actually, $45, right? 2 of these are $45, okay? Because it's $22.49 each. One listing is selling it for $103.60. Right? It's like double the price. More than twice the price, as a matter of fact. Over twice. Right? So that's obviously a profit for these bins. The only thing is, from a drop shipping perspective, if you're drop shipping these, you've got to buy 4. So you can't just like buy 2 and then ship it. So it would never work for drop shipping. You'd have to be unbundling it. You'd have to buy 4 from Webstaurant, ship it somewhere to yourself, perhaps, unbundle it, and then send it out as a 2-pack. Right? But even, I mean, okay, anyway, I don't want to just kind of, I think I made the point. So the number of units, you've got to buy 4 units at this unit price of, which is, now I guess the result price, they must have pre-calculated 4 of these, but I want to really be exact. So I'm going to punch in $22.49 is my result unit price, 4 units at the supplier, $89.96 subtotal, taxes added, total cost per unit. And then on Amazon, number of units for sale on Amazon is 2 units. It's a 2-pack. So I'm selling 2 units for sale on Amazon. It's going to cost me $49 per sale. 15% market fee. Okay, Amazon, I got to put zeros for these because I keep having, these are like eBay transaction fees. Okay, 0 fee. So that's an $88 payout. Okay, and so this is a really high ROI, but you're not going to be able to drop ship it, so there's going to be an FBA fee involved here, and I don't know what it is. Okay, so using software, we can determine the FBA fee, or going into Seller Central or whatever you have to do. You can determine FBA fee if you're doing FBA, and you can figure all that out. Right? And it could be a high FBA fee because these are fairly large. The items are not small. So it could be the FBA fee could be significant. Profit right now is $39 at this point. All right, so that's basically how this process works. And I want to take off the filter. Okay, sometimes it's easier just to remove the whole thing, data remove filter, and put it back later. And that's about it. And then I would now need to keep running it. If I want to do more products, I would like, if you made it this far in the video, to know how to do that. So when you rerun it, the issue is that when you run this again, the Google Lens sourcer, right? It's the same spreadsheet URL. That's no problem. So that part is easy. We just copy the spreadsheet URL and paste it. But the thing is, where's the start row? Like, where are you starting from, right? So you have to go to the product sheet and figure out where you left off. So if you look at the result sheet, you were doing 10. Well, your product ID is now 11. Then, if you're done with 10, you're on 11. It prints everything it has at once. So if the fact 10 is there on results, product ID 10 is here, it's done with 10. You don't have, it's not in the middle of doing 10. It should, I think it's just done with it. Yeah, it's done with 10. So we're up to product ID number 11, but you need the row. The row is 12. It's row 12. You can see the number 12. Right. So the row, start row is 12. That's for the product sheet. However, the output row is now different. That's the thing. The output row, you can't say 2. It's just 2. It's not 2. And it's not 12. The output row means on the results, where did we leave off? And it's easy. I mean, it's just the bottom row, right? It's 102. So you want it to continue printing over here. Why do you have to tell it that? Because it doesn't have any way of knowing. It can't look at the spreadsheet and know, oh, the bottom is, all right. It doesn't have that kind of capability. So you just have to tell it that it's 102. And so you have to come over here and put for the output row 102. Because as it collects data, product after product, it keeps printing all of the data that is collected to that same row, and it just stretches downwards. That's the way it works. So you've got to tell it where to do that. Okay, so it's row 102. Okay, remember I was doing 50 results because 10 did not seem to be enough. So max results per search, 50. Output interval is still 10, and you can make it higher, but no, I'll just leave it at 10. And I don't need to export the CSV, but I can. You know, I'll just do it. Export CSV is kind of like a backup, but I mean, it's not really necessary. I guess it's good in case the API kicks off. I'll still have the output, but that's basically it. And then you click run and start running it again. So I'll just click run, and that's it. It'll now continue from product number 11. It'll start searching, and it will continue printing results from row 102. So you'll get more possible profitable products in here on the result sheet. Just pop it into the sheet. It runs over here in the corner. Meanwhile, I'm going to go over here, work on my channel, you know, go on Amazon, do some other research, maybe go to ChatGPT, you know, maybe I might go to Zoro, you know what I mean? I can just go do other things, you know, update my Gumroad, send an email or something out to you guys or whatever. And meanwhile, I'm also going to be over here looking for products. Okay. And so that's the thing about this. It works quietly and over there in the corner. All right, and that's basically it. So I know this was a bit of a long video, but there's a lot to go through here and explain, and I'm trying to actually, you know, completely show you what to do with these things and how it's done and what I'm doing. And there's just no way to do that in 5 minutes. You know, so I know people love 5-minute short videos on YouTube. Those, I know it's the short videos. I get like way more views than if I do a long video, but all the best, like all the solutions and all the things I'm figuring out, they're in the long videos, not in the short ones. So basically, thanks for sticking around if you made it this far to the video, or even if you skipped to the end, just to kind of see what results came out. And you can go ahead and download this Google Lens product sourcer. It is a Chrome extension that is not available on the market. It's a file, it's what you call unpacked. So it's a file, you unzip it, it's like a folder with the files that make it run. So you upload it to Google Chrome, and then it basically runs off of the file. Okay, basically. So it's not like online, really. You're using it in your browser, but it's really running off of the file, right? And then you have the Google Sheet template, which of course you just make a copy, and here's the Google Sheet. And I have instructions for how to add it, how to add the Chrome extension. It's easy, and everything is there. Also see if there are any other resources. If you don't want to use that and you just want to look at other resources I have, you know, just whatever, you know, just check links in the description of the video. If you want to contact me, you can do that too. Check social medias I've got. You know, if there are any social medias there that you like, that you participate in, you want to join me on those, do that too. If you want to contact me directly via email, it's whatever you want to do. So that's about it. I'm Mr. Mark, and I look forward to hearing from you or seeing you around in another video.